Iran unleashed a massive missile barrage against Israel, rockets slamming into cities and military bases. The United States reacted with stunning speed. Within hours, the first wave of American retaliation was already in motion. In the dark waters of the Persian Gulf, precision cruise missiles streaked across the sky and slammed into an Iranian naval vessel, ripping through the hull and sending the ship plunging beneath the waves. Moments later, follow-up strikes hammered oil storage facilities along Iran's coastline. Massive fuel tanks erupted into towering fireballs, flames lighting up the night sky for miles. At the same moment, a full combat mobilization order echoed across every branch of the U.S. military. The message was simple and urgent. Every available unit moved to combat readiness immediately. On a nearby airfield, the response is already unfolding with intense urgency. Two massive CH-53 Sea Stallion heavy-lift helicopters sit on the flight line, their giant rotors spinning violently, kicking dust and debris into the air. Ground crews step back from the powerful rotor wash as the aircraft thunder to life. Inside the ready room, helicopter pilots prepare in silence and focus. Flight suits zip up, survival vests are strapped tight, sidearms are checked and secured. Helmets slide into place as final mission briefings echo through the room. Every movement is quick, precise, and practiced. Outside, Marines assemble beside the waiting helicopters, divided into two assault groups, one for each aircraft. Each Marine carries the full weight of combat: body armor, helmets, rifles, magazines, grenades, radios, water, and rations. Faces are focused. There's no wasted motion. Then the command comes. The first squad moves quickly toward the lead CH-53, climbing through the side personnel door as the helicopter roars louder with every passing second. Not far away on the same airfield, another aircraft prepares for a different mission. A CH-47 Chinook sits with its massive rear ramp lowered as Marines file inside, taking their positions along the cargo bay. Beneath the helicopter, ground crews work quickly, securing a heavy artillery piece to the external cargo sling, a towed howitzer that will travel suspended beneath the aircraft. Every strap and cable is checked twice. The rigging locks tight. When the signal comes, the Chinook lifts slowly into the air, the artillery gun hanging below like a steel pendulum. The helicopter flies low across the rugged terrain toward a forward military camp. As it approaches the landing zone, the aircraft descends carefully. The crew chief leans out, guiding the pilots with precise hand signals until the massive howitzer gently touches the ground. Another piece of the battlefield now falling into place. The sling is released, and the heavy artillery gun settles onto the dusty ground. The CH-47 Chinook pulls away and moves to a nearby landing spot, lowering itself carefully before touching down. The rear ramp drops, and Marines step out quickly, boots hitting the dirt as the rotors thunder above them. There's no pause. The team moves straight to the howitzer. Ammunition crates are dragged into position, and the artillery crew begins setting up the gun. Metal wide across the ground, spades are dug deep into the dirt for stability, sights are mounted, and shells are stacked nearby, ready for immediate use. Within minutes, the firing position is prepared, silent but deadly. As evening approaches, the sky darkens and the battlefield grows quiet, but the operation is only expanding. Two more helicopters sweep in toward another forward location, carrying additional Marines. The aircraft land on an open patch of ground, flat, exposed terrain with no buildings, no shelters, and no protection. The Marines step out and immediately fan out across the area. Darkness is falling fast. This isn't a base. It's nothing more than raw ground in the middle of the field. Without hesitation, the Marines begin building their defenses. A perimeter is established. Crew-served weapons are positioned to cover the most likely enemy approach routes. Watch rotations are assigned. Some Marines dig shallow fighting positions into the dirt, while others lay out their gear directly on the ground. Sleeping bags, ponchos, rifles, and ammunition placed within arm's reach.
Dinner is quick and simple: cold rations and water from canteens. As the temperature drops, the men settle in for a long night beneath the open sky. But the night is far from quiet. One after another, helicopters appear in the darkness, flying with their lights blacked out as pilots navigate using night vision systems. Each arrival brings more equipment to the growing position. Crates of ammunition are unloaded. Anti-tank weapons follow. Mortar tubes and rounds are stacked beside supply piles. Boxes of radio batteries and medical kits are passed down the line. The once empty ground slowly begins transforming into a hardened combat position. Later in the night, the deep thumping sound of another Chinook approaches. Its rear ramp lowers as it lands, and lightweight tactical buggies roll down onto the dirt. The vehicles are quickly driven away from the landing zone and hidden under camouflage netting. Nearby, communication specialists work rapidly, raising satellite antennas and linking radios to establish contact with the command post. By the time the first light of dawn creeps across the horizon, the empty field has changed completely. What was once just bare ground is now a functioning forward operating base. Vehicles parked under camouflage, weapons positioned along defensive lines, supplies stacked and organized, and Marines standing watch over it all. At first light, the next phase begins. Marines move out from the camp, splitting into squads and heading towards their assigned sectors. Their mission now is reconnaissance, moving carefully through the terrain, searching, observing, and preparing for whatever comes next.
The reconnaissance teams move out quietly, spreading across the rugged terrain with slow, deliberate steps. Every movement is careful, every observation recorded. Marines scan the landscape, studying the ground in front of them like a puzzle that must be solved before the enemy arrives. They identify natural cover, mark ridgelines that could provide advantage, and locate pockets of dead ground where enemy forces might move unseen. Fields of fire are carefully mapped, and possible ambush positions are noted. Nothing is left to chance. Every detail is logged and reported back to the command element at the camp, building a clearer picture of the battlefield with each passing minute. High above the surrounding area, sniper teams climb into elevated overwatch positions. From these vantage points, the entire sector spreads out beneath them. The teams unpack their rifles and set them carefully onto bipods. Around them, equipment is arranged with precision: spotting scoops, rangefinders, wind meters, and logbooks. One Marine settles behind the rifle, while his partner peers through the spotting scope. Together, they begin their slow, methodical observation, sweeping the terrain sector by sector. Distances to landmarks are measured. Potential targets are identified. Any movement, no matter how small, is written down and tracked. Back near the forward position, infantry squads are already pushing through intense combat drills. Across open ground, Marines rehearse bounding maneuvers, where one fire team advances while the other provides cover. Then they switch roles and repeat the movement again and again until the coordination becomes instinct. They move on to urban combat training, stacking tightly beside a doorway before breaching and entering a building. Corners are cleared in seconds, threats called out, and rooms secured with precise teamwork. In another part of the training area, Marines practice moving through low terrain, using wadis and dry ditches to remain hidden from enemy observation. They advance crouched low or crawling across the ground, learning how to maintain speed while staying silent and concealed. Squad leaders watch closely, correcting mistakes and repeating the drills until every movement becomes smooth and disciplined. Fire teams then train for the worst-case scenarios: sudden contact with the enemy. They rehearse what to do when fire erupts from the front, from the flank, or from a hidden ambush. Casualty evacuation drills follow, with Marines practicing how to drag a wounded teammate to safety, while others maintain suppressing fire. Nearby, machine gun teams set up their weapons and identify both primary and alternate firing positions. Under simulated pressure, they practice shifting between positions while keeping constant fire on the target area. Commands echo across the training ground as teams move, coordinate, and push forward through each exercise. The drills are repeated again and again until every Marine can react instantly without hesitation. When the training finally ends, the Marines return to the forward camp. Weapons are cleaned, equipment is checked, defensive positions are reinforced. The base settles into a tense rhythm as the troops wait for the real mission to begin. But when the combat alert finally sounds, there will be no confusion. Every Marine will already know exactly where to go and exactly what to do.